All right, let's go back to our conversation with Kaizer Kganyago, and we're talking about government still not responding to the SIU's findings on pandemic graft. The SIU has sent cases to the NPA for prosecution, but no other disciplinary action has been taken against many of the managers who have been implicated in procurement corruption. Kaizer Kganyago, the SIU spokesperson, joining us once again. We were struggling with sound earlier, Mr. Kganyago, but we've got it sorted out now. I was asking about the lack of consequence management in government when it comes to your recommendations as the SIU. How bad is it?
Thank you very much, Clement. I can say that the article that is in the Mail and Guardian gives an impression that nothing has been done, and which is not the case. In this particular instance, you will see that the referrals that we have done for disciplinary hearings are about 127 in the PPE space. And out of that, more than half of them have already been implemented. And the other half that we are talking about are being implemented as we speak. There are different reasons why in each and every case it would not have been. For example, in the presentation that they were looking at, would show, for example, that when we wanted to discipline this particular one, that person then lodged a dispute. In some instances, people resigned before they could be disciplined because they knew that the evidence against them was there. Therefore, we are very clear about the issues of consequence management, and government is cooperating with us on the issues where we have got to check. But we will make sure, as the SIU, that each and every referral that we have made will follow up. And once we have followed up, we'll come back to the public and tell you what has happened. I'll just give you a simple example with the case at the Department of Health, where the head of SCM was, we made a referral for her to be disciplined. She was disciplined and dismissed. And we went out and we welcomed that when it happened. And we will make sure consequence management happens all the time, because we cannot make sure, we cannot go and make that sure that this thing is, people are not disciplined. Because if we do that, we will then lose the battle against corruption.
Yeah, how are you monitoring and ensuring that the government institutions are actually responding and implementing your recommendations? Because in some instances, you've got people who may be suspended, and they are suspended for quite a long time without the disciplinary action really, taking off. How often do you monitor where the action is and to see if the action has been completed instead of just the announcement that suspensions have been effected?
No, we really, Clement, monitor it. We go as far as getting reports all the time on how far things are. I'll just give you another example. When we had the Johannesburg company, property company, where somebody was suspended and then came back without being disciplined. We went back and wanted a report to understand why that had happened, and they indicated to us that they had not as yet put out a law firm that they were going to use to discipline the CEO. Therefore, we make sure there is a team of people who make sure and monitor, go back, get reports from all of these referrals that we have done, because we do not want to do referrals for the sake of doing them. Our strategy now is to make sure that we follow up and we emphasize consequence management.
And in terms of the powers and teeth you have, with the team that goes back to these government institutions to ensure that the recommendations are implemented, is there a law that empowers them, some teeth perhaps, or all you can do is recommend and then go back and remind them if they are not implementing your recommendations to do so?
We have got to give reports all the time to the president about all the people that are not doing what they are supposed to do. Like in this particular instance, we are in conversation all the time with the Department of Public Service and Administration. They check with us who are the departments or municipalities that are not cooperating, how long have they been dealing with these matters, so that they are able to follow them up themselves also. Because it doesn't help if we do it alone, but we have got the powers to report them when they are unable to do that. But in most cases, they cooperate with us and do what's supposed to be done. That's why more than 50% has already implemented our recommendations.
All right, that was the SIU's spokesperson, Kaizer Kganyago. Thank you so much for making time. 127 referrals that they have made. He's confirming that more than half of their recommendations, of those referrals, have been implemented. He says the remainders are still being implemented. And that's where I leave it for this week. Up next is